Welcome back, guys, for another Sparking Zero video for y'all's foreheads. Sparking Zero is the countdown for Sparking Zero is on its way, guys. We're getting one step closer every single day to this phenomenal game that is going to be coming out real soon. And with Sparking Zero coming out, there's a lot of different things that could come with the game. Now, the one thing that I think we're all excited for besides the base game is obviously DLC. Now, I'm going to be talking about what kind of DLC I would want. Make sure you guys tell me down below in the comment section what kind of DLC you guys want for Sparking Zero, and tell me how you feel about my choices for what DLC I want. This DLC can consist from soundtracks to different extra scenarios. It could be characters. It could be different maps. It could be anything. You know, DLC, in the age of DLC, there's so much we could do. Now, I'll start with my own. I mentioned it in my last Sparking Zero video, but I would love for them to include Dragon Ball Heroes inside of Sparking Zero. And that may be, a little much because people would be like, Sparking Zero is supposed to be a game specifically for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. But I feel like Dragon Ball Heroes has already made a staple for itself, not only with some of the characters being introduced in Xenoverse 2, but also just in general. It's a popular card game, especially in Japan. They have multiple different games for it, and I think it actually has some nice takes, some nice characters. We have like Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black. We have the corrupted Vegeta form. We have the Super Saiyan God Trunks. I feel like there's a lot that they can do with Dragon Ball Heroes if they implement it into the game. And of course, you could also say that, we'll have mods for that, but that's only on PC. People on PS4 or Xbox would probably want to, I said PS4, PS5 would probably also want to play as those characters. And I think it would make the game, you could add way more scenarios with that. The what if scenarios that they already have could be expanded upon so much more if they added heroes in. And it may be a big thing because it's a lot. If they add in heroes, that's a lot of characters to, add to the base game. Just off the top of my head, we have Beat, we have Note, we have Trunks, like the Xeno Trunks. We would have Xeno Goku. We would have Supreme Kai of Time. You would have Demigra. You would have Towa and Mira. You would have Fu. You'd have a lot more characters, and a lot of people would probably get more forms. You'd have Cumber, and with that, you can add so many more characters from Dragon Ball Heroes that I feel like it would just fit in well with a game that's trying to, spread and be the Dragon Ball game. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it would be the Dragon Ball game. There's so much you could do with it. Like I said, the thing that makes me so excited for if that could happen is the what if scenarios, because if you take the what if scenarios and you implement heroes, which is basically like a whole game full of what ifs, I feel like there's so much they could do with that, and it would make the game last so much longer. Not only that, but it gives so many other characters the chance to shine. I feel like there's a lot of things Heroes does that's better than Super. Personally, I like a lot of things that Heroes does better than Dragon Ball Super. Specifically the anime. I really like what the manga does, but now, ignoring the entirety of just adding Dragon Ball hero characters, there are also specific characters I want to see in the game. For example, Hatchiyack. Hatchiyack came in Raging Blast 2, and we haven't seen much of him since at all. I barely see anyone talk about Hatchiyack. In fact, I barely see anyone talk about Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans at all. But I think that movie is phenomenal. I really like that movie. And I think they could, add that into the story as a little, not an Easter egg, but something to add on. And I know most people may be like, oh, well, Hatchiyack was specifically for Raging Blast 2. They can't add Hatchiyack into another game. And to that, I'd say, why not? I don't really see the big problem. I mean, it's not like Hatchiyack is considered different compared to other characters. I mean, he's there. He may be only in like one game or two games, but he's still a character who's, not made an impact, but he's still a character who in the actual movie, he's considered very powerful. He's considered to be stronger than Broly. And I think having a character like that in the game would expand it so much more. Because, like I said, it also brings in just different other scenarios you could do. If they wanted to, they can make it so it's like Hatchiyack happens near Broly, and then the Saiyans have to figure out, oh shit, how are we supposed to deal with Hatchiyack and then deal with Broly, or other way around. I feel like they could add so much more story impacts to that, and so many different scenarios they could do in that situation. Hatchiyack is a character that I feel like he's a good character. Well, not a good character, but a good concept, I should say. I mean, his whole thing, he was basically Baby before Baby even came out. I really like Hatchiyack, or his design at least. I think his design is fire. Now, I do want to see a bit more regular Dragon Ball characters. For example, Kid Krillin, Kid Tien, all of that. I want to see a little more of that, kind of like, well, actually, I don't think there's any game out there that really has those characters as much. But I really think that, adding regular Dragon Ball characters could also expand because they could put in the actual Dragon Ball story. I don't think the Dragon Ball, like, baseline Dragon Ball is in Sparking Zero. But I think adding regular Dragon Ball would be a great thing, actually, for the community and for the game itself. Because adding in regular Dragon Ball, that brings in more characters. That brings in more storylines, more what ifs. With the existence of time travel in Dragon Ball Z in general, I feel like they can do so much with it. I know I've been drilling down this what if scenario, but I don't think people really understand just how great what ifs can be, especially for something like Dragon Ball. Like I said, there's a bunch of Dragon Ball videos out there about what ifs, and they blow up. A bunch of people like them. It's fun. It's cool to look and be like, what if this character did this? What if this character did that? Because Dragon Ball is such a big franchise that having all these what ifs just makes it grow even more. I feel like adding Dragon Ball, the regular Dragon Ball story, would make it like so cool. At least to me personally, I think that's a very great idea. Now, my last DLC question. Now, this one's gonna get a lot of people. I know a lot of people will disagree, and that's fine. I'm really fine with that. But I want to see custom created characters, guys. Listen, I know we had Xenoverse. I know we had Xenoverse 2. I know we had the original. Not many people know about the original Ultimate Tenkaichi custom created characters, but Sparking Zero, and the way I'm seeing it, is the Dragon Ball game. The Dragon is going to be the Tenkaichi 3. It's going to be the Xenoverse 2. It's going to be the Fighters. It's going to be the Raging Blast 2. It's going to be the game that people see and say, yes, that's peak. That's peak Dragon Ball. Adding a custom created character could do so much more. And I'm not saying to make the custom created character like the main character like in Xenoverse 2. I'm just saying you can add you can make your own character, give, like in Xenoverse 2, make them a Saiyan, Namekian, Frieza Saga. You could even be you could add a little extra in. Maybe make them a Shenron from GT. Maybe make them a God of Destruction from Super. There's a lot you can add in there. Dragon Ball is full of so many different forms and different species that having the usual Saiyan, Frieza, human, Namekian, come on, like we could add a little more. We can get some Shenrons in there. We can get some angels in there, and then have them go and with the what if scenarios. Like I said, once again, what if scenario, you could add them into the story. And once again, this is DLC. I don't expect them to add any of these things for the base game. This is not me saying, oh, they should have added this in at the beginning of the game, bro. Like, come on, bro. They should have added this in. No, I'm not saying that because I already know they'd worked ages to get this out just to have Dragon Ball Z, Super, and GT characters in. So that is not what this video is about. It is not about what characters they should do or what they should put in for the base game. It's about DLC. DLC can take time. They don't have to. The DLC I'm talking about, they don't have to do it for 2 years, 3 years. They don't have to do it for 4 years. It could be 5 years straight with no base game and like barely any miniature DLC, and then come out with the big DLC. Dragon Ball story, plan to eradicate the Super Saiyans, custom created characters, Dragon Ball heroes. I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking years down the line, yes, this would be phenomenal. Not right now. I'm happy with how it's looking. Besides a little map, I've seen some things about like what maps are gonna be in there, and some crossplay, but uh, that can be handled very simply, kind of, I think. But the DLC I'm asking for is big time stuff. New characters, custom created characters that breaks the borderline, like gods of destruction, angels, etc., etc., etc. Dragon Ball Heroes content, new game modes that I can't even think of, like maybe like a galaxy mode, like in Raging Blast 2. Different things so the game doesn't it won't die quickly, but something to keep the game going. I don't want it to rely just on DLC, because then it'll turn into another Xenoverse 2 moment where it's like DLC after DLC, and it'll be like 8 years later and we're still getting DLC, and it's like, bro, come on, man. The shit is dead, bro. Come on. This is strictly, these are going to be, these DLCs are just something I personally would want to see in Dragon Ball games so that it could expand. And I think Sparking Zero is going to be the game. And I think if they can do that, if they can add all these DLCs and they have as much time as they want, as long as it's not a Xenoverse 2 thing where it's only relied on, like it's like the game is dead, they unlock a DLC, and then the game is dead again. Not like that. Simply something to add on when you see, like, okay, the game is doing well, people are enjoying the game, let's add in something new. Like boom, Dragon Ball story. Okay, the game's doing well, the game's not dying, still going. Okay, boom, heroes and plan to eradicate the Super Saiyans. Cool. Keep going. What I'm like, just extra stuff to make the game more fluff. Add more fluff to the game. This I've been waiting for, quote unquote Budokai Tenkaichi 4 for years. I literally have early videos that I think I've privated that were me taking my phone camera and playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I legit have been waiting for this game for ages. And I just personally want to see DLC of, more characters, more story modes. And it's fine if they don't. It's fine if they don't have to add, they don't have to add, crazy heroes characters. They don't have to add, a whole, I think a Dragon Ball section, like a Dragon Ball story mode, would be really, really good and really nice with like more Dragon Ball characters. Like, they'll have Kid Goku, Kid Krillin, Teen Tien, Teen Yamcha, all that. I think a lot of people would like that personally. But, that's all I wanted to say. What DLC I want in Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. Let me know down below in the comment section what kind of DLC you guys want. It can be anything. Just let me know. I want to see what you guys think as well. You know what I'm saying? So with that, guys, Sparking Zero coming soon. Guys, I'm prepared. I hope you guys are happy, and I hope you guys are hyped just as I am. And with that, guys, I'm going to see you guys later. Goodbye.